So I needed a reliable family sedan. And of course, I chose a hand-built Italian V8 Maserati. This is what that choice has cost me. This is a 2010 Maserati Quattroporte Sport GTS. And let me paint a picture for you. It's 2022. I've got a toddler. I work from home. I think I really need a sedan and something practical that I can throw kids in the back of, and I start my search. This isn't originally where I started. I wanted an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, but because of COVID, the car market got kind of crazy and they hadn't quite depreciated enough to where I thought it was going to be a good value buy. So I landed on this car. Now, this car is such a special car. It really does something for you. And when I made that choice, I threw my sensibilities and taste in cars at this sedan problem. But nobody seemed to really understand my choice. You know, my family was like, "What are you doing?" My dad especially was like, "Why don't you get a truck?" And I was like, "Dad, I live in a major city in the United States. I don't need a truck." But they just didn't really understand the choice that I made with this car. Brand new, this specific car started at $154,000 in 2010. I paid $29,900 for this car. I knew what I was going to get into. I knew the reliability reputation that this car had, but I just took the plunge and made the decision anyways. And after driving this car so much the first year as a daily, I kind of learned the things that you don't know about a car until you live with it. And the biggest thing is I just didn't realize how delicate the Alcantara and leather interior on this car was when you were going to be having young children in the back of it. And it slowly morphed from being my daily into like a seasonal or special occasions car, and life just really kind of got in the way. You know, I couldn't fit a stroller and a bike in the back at the same time, those sorts of things. But I love this car so much that I couldn't imagine selling it. So here we are. I have this car, and 4 years on, you probably want to know how much I have spent on it. Let's talk about some of the actual costs of running this car. I'm not talking about insurance. I'm not talking about fuel. I'm not even going to focus on depreciation because this car's more or less stayed pretty flat since I bought it. Down a little bit, but not too bad. Not like a brand new car. I'm going to be talking today about the repairs and maintenance that I have put into this car over the 4 years that I have owned it. So all of my expenses for this car kind of separate themselves out naturally into 3 buckets. And that first bucket is the deferred maintenance or the neglect that I inherited from the previous owners. I'm the 3rd owner of this car. The first owner had it up until just 1 year before I did. Then there was the second owner and then me. This car is the Sport GTS. They don't come up for sale all that often, and when you find one, you kind of got to jump on it. And I knew that this one had had a pretty good service history. The first owner always took it to the Ferrari or Maserati dealership for work. The second owner, I don't know how well they took care of it, but they didn't put that much mileage on it. They probably figured that it was going to be really expensive to fix. So I wanted it, but I'm not a complete idiot. So I did pay for a pre-purchase inspection, and it came up with a long list of things that needed to be fixed. And the total to fix all those things was $5,600. Some of them were optional, but I decided to have it all done, and let me tell you what those things were. The valve cover gaskets needed to be replaced. They were leaking. The serpentine belt and pulleys on the engine also needed to be replaced. It had an upper oil pan gasket leak on the underside, and the shop was like, it's not that bad, but it is leaking, and I decided I wanted to just take care of everything. I didn't want to have any issues with the car going forward with that, so I had them do that as well. The spark plugs were due to be replaced, so the spark plugs got replaced. It needed a new fog light on the front, so I replaced the fog light. The battery wasn't really holding a charge, so I also got a new battery for it. And then probably the most kind of confusing thing with what was wrong with it was the tire pressure sensor light was always illuminated on the dash, and it wouldn't go off with the reset procedure. And I ultimately had to find a used module on eBay to replace it with, because they don't make the module anymore, and it made the problem go away. It was just a module. So that's the hefty bill that I got right at the beginning of my ownership of this car. But as we've gone on, other things have needed to be replaced, or I've used them up. So let's talk about those. All right, so let's talk about my second bucket, and that is the consumables. This car has been pretty good to me. The only consumable thing I've changed are the tires. And I like running Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. That's what I have on the 911. I have them on this also, and they cost me $2,000, which is quite a big bump up from what they cost for the 911, but these are bigger wheels and wider and the whole thing. And I, at the time, needed tires. I couldn't just shop around, so that's what I ended up paying. In hindsight, I have found a club, if you're in the United States, a car club called Avance, that you can get a discount on Michelin tires, or you can get a discount on, they have like a fleet account at Discount Tire that'll also give you a discount. And so I could have saved some money there, but at the time I didn't know about it. So there we are. And that's it for consumables. But bucket number 3 is going to be like my ongoing costs, ongoing maintenance costs, or like things that I've had to repair. Some of the things that are actually in bucket number 3, I could have put them into bucket number 1, but I didn't necessarily find them right away. So the first thing is the battery was having some sort of a strange issue when I got this car, and I discovered that the battery ground cable had a quick disconnect, and it gets old and it doesn't hold a tight enough clamp on the ground cable, or on the ground terminal. So after a couple months of ownership of this car, I had to swap that out, and I haven't had a problem with it since. It's been like 4 years since I've had that issue. That was a good fix. Another thing when I got this car that I didn't realize was a problem until later was when I got these tires. As soon as I got the new tires put on, I found that they rubbed on the front when I would turn. And the previous owner had put wheel spacers on, and they were pretty wide, and it made the stance look great, but I wasn't going to sacrifice my nice, expensive set of tires for just a little bit better look. So I had to get those off of there, but it complicated it because I didn't have OEM lug bolts to put in to make it all buttoned up correctly, so I had to track down some OEM lug bolts in order to make that happen. And then the rest has just been like old car things that have broken. Like I needed new hood struts. The hood struts, wouldn't hold the hood up quite right. So I replaced those, and the coolant expansion tank had developed a, crack in it. So I replaced the coolant expansion tank. And then it's just been like the normal, like used car or maintaining a car sort of things, like oil changes and engine air filters, oil filters, that sort of thing. And, all of those like ongoing maintenance expenses have only cost $2,500 over the last 4 years, which I think is pretty good, and I've been pretty happy with it. But there is a catch, because I just finished an oil change on this car, which is why it's up in the air, and I discovered that one of the AC lines in the front has developed a slight weep. So that's something that I'm going to have to watch, and hopefully it's not going to be horrendously expensive to fix. And that's it. $10,100. That's a real person's expenses running a Maserati Quattroporte Sport GTS for 4 years.